Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast. I'm your host, Kiera Dent, and I have this crazy idea that maybe I could combine a doctor and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, regional manager, practice owner, and I have a team of traveling consultants where we have traveled to over 165 different offices coaching teams. Yep, we don't just understand you, we are you. Our mission is to positively impact the world of dental, and I believe that this podcast is the greatest way I can help elevate teams, grow VIP experiences, reduce stress, and create A-teams. Welcome to the Dental 18 podcast.
So welcome, you guys. I'm so grateful and excited. We're going to be doing teledentistry today because I think that teledentistry is obviously a hot topic with COVID going on and something that I wish offices would have implemented and started and all of that. So that's what we're doing right now. And I am so grateful to be introducing to you guys Dr. Sastry. He is a dentist and he created teledentistry.com. So just a little bit, he's been working for the last 20 years. Correct me if I'm wrong at all. And you were saying that since 2006, you're the chief dental officer of Aces Dental. You can continue to provide real-world dental services in the Las Vegas area. So, hey, welcome to the Nevada state. Like, friends, I'll be on the Reno side, you're on the Vegas side. And then from 2000 to 2016, CEO of Health Networks of America. So you grew a dental insurance brokerage firm from scratch to multi-million-dollar operating spanning over 3,000 dental offices nationwide. So you guys have really worked so hard. And now you guys are presenting teledentistry.com. Which is a culmination, you said, of decades of experience in patient care, dentistry, technology, and insurance. So with that, warm welcome. So excited to have you here, excited to have you present. So thanks for your time today.
Yeah, I really got to change that bio. You know, it makes me sound like I'm like 100 years old with decades and decades of experience. I'm not that old either, you know? So.
Not at all. Not even for 2 seconds. But I just, whenever somebody reads my bio, I'm always like, oh, like I should have shortened that up, or I should have said this, or why do I write this paragraph? But I like it because that helps people know who you are. And I mean, you got to have some credibility. I mean, otherwise I just say like, hey, here's this cool dentist from Vegas, guys. So we gotta like build it up a little.
Cool dentist from Vegas is still applicable.
You want that? Do you want me to say this guy is from Vegas, guys? More memorable. By the way, how is Vegas? Let's do a quick like detour. How is Vegas? Because I saw a video of McCarran Airport, which I fly in and out of all the time, and it was ghost. Like solid ghost. I've been thinking like
it really is a zombie apocalypse here, you know, and every single zombie movie has a Vegas scene.
Yes.
It's like that, you know, and I mean, you're just waiting for somebody to jump out of the somewhere and just like eat your brains or something because it's like so quiet, you know, it's like, where is everybody? And it's kind of crazy, you know? So it's like that. It's really quite something to behold, you know, so. Yeah.
Tell me though, have you, because if I lived in Vegas right now, I think I would just go cruise the strip and see like how quickly I could get up and down it with no traffic. Because, you know, traffic time is like an hour to go half a mile. So have you like cruised the strip or is it not even cool?
Yes, I did. Yeah. It took me only like 15 minit's. It was crazy, you know?
Oh,
and but I mean, we were just going through the strip and we're just like videoing the whole thing. And I mean, it's heartbreaking, you know, but this is the world over. And so nationwide. So, you know, it's one of those things, you know, because you've been here for so long and you're so used to just having that center of activity, you know, in your life. And it's just not there anymore. And so it's really something else. It's somehow worse than the 2008 recession, you know? And,
really?
It's something else. But, you know, it's one of those things. So hopefully we'll bounce back soon, and you know, a couple of weeks away, I hope, as opposed to months, but we'll see.
I know, hopefully. Fingers crossed. So yeah. Well, thank you for your time, and thanks for guys like ask questions. So for everybody watching today, thank you guys for joining us at our 12 o'clock Expert Thursday. At the bottom, there is a little raise hand or chat box. You can do the Q&A, so you guys can put questions in there. So as always, I want these webinars to be for our audience. So please ask the questions. I'll interrupt. I'll ask your questions for you. So be sure to ask questions, anything you have. And you know, at this point, this is Let's hear what you got to tell us, Dr. And is it
All
Dr.
right.
Sastry? Is that how I say
Yeah,
it?
that's fine. No worries. That's fine. Yeah. So,
Perfect.
what I'll do is I'll just share my screen, okay, and we'll go through some of the things that we've done in our practices here in Vegas, and kind of go from there. I hope you can see my screen. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Awesome. Perfect. Okie doke. Great. So basically, about 4 years ago, we implemented teledentistry as a concept in our practice. And as you know, we met up at a conference, and so we were kind of talking. And it was at that time that really the genesis of it took place. And we started deploying it in our practice. We started, doing teledentistry in our practices. And now, when everything else is shut down, somehow this is the only thing that's still alive.
Right.
And it's one of those. It's a very strange feeling in that we have kind of shut down, but we're still open somehow. And for those practices that actually deployed our solution, it's the same story. And we're in touch with just here in Vegas. Everybody knows everybody here in Vegas, a little big city, And we basically have been helping our patients get through this time. We're actually generating revenue still, which is incredible.
That is incredible.
Our doctors are still engaged with our patients, and we're able to just keep the ball rolling as opposed to a complete stop. One thing that we know though is once we're post COVID, that ball's not going to stop. It's going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and that's kind of where our mindset is already, because we're looking at this thing and we're going, okay. Today we're kind of like in slow motion, but as we kind of move forward, we're going to start seeing more and more telehealth, teledentistry type of services.
Totally.
People are going to want it. Yep. They're not going to want to come in right away, And quite frankly, as dentists, we're going to want it too, And now, especially because it's a revenue gen center for the practice, it's an efficiency builder. These are some of the things that we're going to talk about in the presentation. So I'll just jump right into it. Okay.
Well, and I want to say on that, because I read a blog the other day and they said, I don't want to go to teledentistry. And my thought was, I've heard a cool quote, and I think it applies to what we're talking about today of innovate or die. You really have to innovate or you're going to go out of business. You might hold on for a little way. And so instead of looking at it no way, I don't want to do teledentistry, look to see how you could embrace it. How can you change? Because I do believe the same thing. You guys, our world is in innovation right now. The whole world, because it had to. So it was this catastrophe that's forcing us to innovate. And if we don't innovate, I do believe we will die. So I love this. That's why I wanted to have you on here to help you guys look to see how can you innovate so you don't die? Because these are things that I truly do. Just like you said, this is the future. And either let's get on the bandwagon and embrace it, or let's hang out and maybe not make it.
You look backwards in history, and this moment has happened before. It's not new. You'll always have some folks who are just diehard. It's the typewriter. It has to be the typewriter because I'm a typist, And then when you introduce the computer, or a personal computing or something like that, and then suddenly this job is just gone. Yeah. And so you're absolutely right, innovate or die. And this same moment has been played out in various industries, various types of innovations, and then people just don't adapt, and then they just get left behind. And it kind of sucks, but luckily we have a way forward, And so the globalization is what's killing us right now, but again, maybe globalization will be what saves us again,
Sure.
Kind of what we're looking at it, So we are basically a mobile first platform.
Excuse me, why didn't you read your bio just now?
Oh, my bio. Come on, who cares about that? Nobody cares, really. Come on. Q&A it up. Who does? Let me write down a question myself. Does anybody really care? The answer is no. It's okay. Don't worry about it.
Pass the slide. And next.
Yeah, it's okay.
Guys, here's his info.
we have 3 practices here in Vegas. We have multiple doctors who are working in our company. I used to be the CEO of Health Networks of America. It was an insurance brokerage firm. That's where I kind of really got my insurance chops, so to speak, and learned how insurance companies work, the ins and outs of them. And we were partnered with a huge insurance company, and then kind of really took their product and kind of just really kind of hypercharged it. In the process, we built a network of dentists around that product, 3,000 dental offices around the country. We're still working with them today. Of course, it was really 2016 and 2017 when we incorporated that we created Teledentistry.com, and it's in its current iteration that you'll see. I say current iteration because literally I know there's a massive update coming like in the next couple of weeks here that's going to change it again, so it's going to be a continuous thing. Okay. So,
there you go. I was like, don't pass your beautiful face, your slide. You just
it's all
right
shaggy now. I went to Walmart to buy the clippers, but they're all out. so everybody else is buying them too. Okay, so we have a mobile first platform, connects patients with dentists. Okay, it's mobile first because 4 or 5 years ago, we could have all told you, if anybody who was watching or paying attention, that dentistry would be on the mobile phone. And so that's kind of where our mind was that long ago. We were like, okay, how do we shift every single piece of the practice onto the smartphone? It has to be here, otherwise you're out,
Yep.
And that's kind of what we did. So we took every part of the practice and then just jacked it into the cloud. It took forever to do it correctly, by the way. How come I keep going back to the old one? Here, let's just go.
Just because you want to see that again. We want to revisit that slide one more time.
Sure. That's what it is. Okay. So here we go. Pre-COVID. So it's not like we were, we didn't just, come about day before yesterday, which is what a lot of companies right now are doing. And I'm not angry at them or anything. It's just, this is the word of the hour, teledentistry, which is why we were able to secure the URL teledentistry.com and make that the name of our company as well so long ago.
Clever.
So we have proven technology. We've been adopted by Medicaid in multiple states as an ER diversion for dental emergency solution. And that's kind of where we really kind of got our battle testing on our platform, if you would, because it's one thing to have a video conference, that's fine. Anybody can do that, quite frankly. But to have a real platform that you can deploy in your dental practice and have it work as a solution, totally different matter, We're already deployed in multiple practices, DSOs, solo practices. We have a 24/7 dentist network to take after-hours calls. That feature we have put on hold for right now because our entire call center and all the dentists who work, we have about 250 dentists who work in our company who actually handle these calls for our, we're at about 17 million patients on our platform right now.
Wow.
So I know it sounds like a lot, but it's just, it's what we're doing right now. And that's why we're so busy. Obviously, you can imagine that everybody's going crazy right now.
Hello, Dental A Team family. We are doing Dental A Team's membership program. It's customized coaching incorporating our 12 systems comprehensive success cycle. We are going to be rolling this out July 1st. So, which office are you going to be? Are you going to be a Dental A Team Silver, a Dental A Team Gold, or a Dental A Team Platinum? You let me know. Comprehensive coaching that's customized for you guys. Super excited. And I can't wait to see which one you choose. So head on over to thedentallateam.com. Let us know which one you choose to be. And I can't wait to see you there.
Okay. So for dental practices, though, how to use the system right now? You can stay in touch with your patients. It's very quick to deploy. I'll show you a demo here in a few moments. We can generate revenues now. That's what the most important thing. And our team is gone. This is like the craziest thing. I also had to lay off so many of my people, even then, though, our system is still operational with like just 1 or 2 people at the front desk. So we can continue to generate revenue, And what can you do with it? Limited role evaluations, post-op follow-ups, specialist care coordination. You can invite specialists into the session with you so that way you both can do like a 3-way, 4-way conversation with the patient if necessary to help coordinate that care. Our system was originally designed to optimize your marketing. It's not something that we designed it for a COVID-like world, We designed it specifically to help you with your marketing dollars because, I'm a dentist and I have to do how many ever crowns I have to do in order to pay one Google ad, right? And it drives me crazy, And I'm like, okay, I blew out all this money on Google and you turn it around and you don't even know if it really worked. You have to
Right.
do all this analysis, and they give you these wonderful, beautiful reports, but you don't really know if it made any sense at the end of the day because you're just so busy running all the time. And this is my life, and I'm sure the life of many other dentists too. So I said I wanted to stop marketing. I wanted to stop blowing money on marketing and focus internally, and I wanted to make sure that when a phone call comes in, we do everything we can to make sure that person walks into our practice, and that's the critical thing. So, and we did about 14,000 consults in our own practices last year. And what we found was 70% of those people came into the practice within 90 days.
Wow.
That's strong. And so that's when we were like, whoa, this is a game changer, and this was pre-COVID, by the way, so it's not like we were doing this, yesterday. You can't do 14,000 consults and like snapping your fingers like that, I use Curve Dental as my practice management software system, so I put that in there. But that's where you can use you can send claims, using Curve like you normally, or using Dentrix or whatever it is that you normally use,
So you do integrate with every single software? Because I was like, Curve
software. No, right now we're integrating with Curve.
Okay.
Because that's the one I use.
Because it's cloud-based. You silly guy.
Exactly.
I was like, who uses Curve unless you're a cloud-based, absolute?
Yeah, it is Curve. It is cloud-based, and that's the thing. And so I encourage everybody, whoever has a dental practice, they got to get into the cloud. Get away from the server-based system. It's just a mess, But to your point, yes, we integrate with Curve. We're talking to other dental practice software systems, and we're integrating with them as well as we speak.
Okay, cool.
All right. So how to use the system post-COVID? Quite literally, the same way we were using it pre-COVID. Triage for patient needs. Now you can get paid for that first interaction as opposed to not getting paid, which is what we were doing last year, and then you can schedule the in-person visit accordingly, This is a massive one. We lose patients if you're not taking care of them when they're in pain, So if you're able to somehow do that, even if they don't come into your practice, they will be eternally loyal to you. This is just a given. The doctor took care of me. He sent the prescriptions to the pharmacy, and I'm good to go for a little while. Yeah, I'm going to go and see him afterwards to get taken care of. This was incredibly powerful. Relationship building by being accessible is also very important, obviously. And this is one we discovered by accident. This last one here in the schedule optimization, we didn't plan on this one, but this is what ended up happening. So now we can present it. So what we did was we took our post-op appointments and our appointments that basically when patients we know don't show up typically, and we instead moved them into the cloud. And so what ended up happening was I do how many ever extraction appointments in a day. And then the other doctor would do something else, like some other extraction appointments and all these post-extraction appointments. And then you'll book them like a day later if necessary, or sometimes you'll say, no problem, come back after about a week. It just depends on how traumatic the extraction was. Okay, so if it's a week later and it was a simple extraction and you have a column full of appointments and you're looking at it and you've got a book, you got a chair open for that, by the way, right? That would be something that 50% of those patients wouldn't show up, and you'd be like looking at okay, why did I have them on the schedule again?
Right.
This patient didn't show up again. So now instead, you don't even bother with them coming out of the practice unless you absolutely determine that they need to, right? And instead, you just give them a virtual consult. And the front desk person would basically greet them virtually. That's how our dashboard works, by the way. It's not a direct-to-doctor connection, which I did initially was a disaster. But this is part of the learning process, by the way. So you do have to have it come to the front desk first. Yes. And so the front desk person would say, okay, hi, my name is so-and-so, and then let me greet you. Okay, you're here in the virtual lobby. Give me a moment. Let me get the doctor for you. Now, if I'm at another location or I'm at home and I want to do this consult, I can do so on my smartphone. They'll just connect it to me. If I happen to be in the office, I can just walk over, and if I have like 5 minutes or something to do the consult, I'll just pop in and just say hey to Jane Doe and see how her extraction is going, So this is how we optimized our post-op scheduling.
Mm-hmm.
And as a result of which, our slots were now, our schedule is now open with slots for high production type of appointments, which was incredible for us,
Have you done anything with ortho?
Yes. Our chief orthodontic officer is Dr. Janavi Rao. She has a whole protocol around ortho, even for hygiene. One of the doctors, Dr. Hong and Dr. Gupta, they developed a system where they would do like 4-quad scaling and root planning. And then maybe they'd say, okay, 3 months later, we want you to come in for your perio maintenance, for example, as opposed to 6 months, right? Mm-hmm. But somehow in that 3 months, patient just completely loses track. Right?
Totally.
So what we would do is we'd say, okay, let's just do, here's some disclosing tablets, right? Or solution or whatever. And we'll just do a teledentistry consult with you to see how you're doing, maybe like a month into it, make sure you're doing your job. Mm-hmm. Oh, Jane Doe, you haven't been keeping your teeth clean. Look at how nasty your teeth are. Okay, that's bad. Improve, it's because for hygiene, especially, it's a eternal battle with the patient, it seems like, and you're like, okay, well, did you brush and floss properly? Okay, you have like the initial appointment when you do the cleaning, then you're hoping that they will do their job at the 3 month and then at 6 month and then whatnot. It was a lost cause, And so what we did was like, okay, how do we improve this process? Instead of, and you get frustrated if you don't have a solution because you're like, oh, it's all the patient's fault. Well, yes, but at the same time, how do you help them? I mean, we're the professionals in charge of this, right? And so this is the way in which we did this for hygiene. It was a tremendous boost,
Interesting.
And the patients were really happy too. They were like, oh, thank you so much. You took the time to help me with this,
So it sounds like, if I'm clear, I just want to make sure I'm clear, that teledentistry, it sounds like the way to maximize and optimize teledentistry is through some of those post-ops that don't necessarily need chair time. So we can do that virtual. You can also do it for ortho. It sounds like there's a whole thing, because I've heard of a lot of docs, you send all your trays, they pop in, you don't have to have chair time for that. And then also it sounds like hygiene in that interim of the SRP, that's a great spot that you could put it in. It sounds like those are three. And then you could also do like emergency limited exams. They call in, we can do it that way. And then you did say like consult with specialists. It sounds like immediately like those 4 things could be ways to implement. Is that accurate? Are there things that I missed? That's what I
only, and that's okay. The initial consult. So when the patient first calls in, right? If they can somehow get to the dentist, and fill out all their medical dental history on their smartphone. They've completed like maybe a financing application on the smartphone itself, which is something that we're offering now. And then the doctor can actually just like, all on their smartphone. Okay, I can see Jane Doe. She's allergic to amoxicillin. I'll prescribe clindamycin instead. Something like that. Those are the ways in which like now, like your ability to like help a person without even leaving your office and them not even coming in is tremendous. The goal is ultimately to get them to come in, so that you can help them. But the experience is just incredible, And so we have the time, in the course of our day to do this type of stuff as dentists, So that's just something that, and again, previous to this, we were not able to bill for it. Now you are. So now there's a whole different dimension to this that we really have not explored,
Sure.
So
my question to you is, and you might get into this, so if you are, like, tell me to not, like, you're going to attack it in a minute, but how do you schedule it for you personally? Do you have like set times for that virtual? Because I could see your day as a dentist getting nuts if we're just like trying to shove consults in, like the scheduling nightmare of that. So I'm hopeful and curious again, like you might be going into it. Do you
I don't have that. I don't have that as a what do you call it? I'm totally going to violate HIPAA right now. So just give me a moment.
Don't look.
Okay? Nobody look.
Don't look.
Wait, actually, maybe I can turn on the non-identified feature on here. Hang on a minute, okay? So right now,
curve.
Yeah, right now, that's very true. Yeah, and hang on a second, okay? Let me see.
I'm going to say, as you're coming up with this, we distract people from looking at your HIPAA violation right now.
Yeah. Just let me just. I mean, the schedule is trash right now because we're just doing virtual consults, but it'll give you an idea of how we're doing it. Okay? Hang on.
I'm not a huge fan of Curve, and it's just because they don't have freaking route slips in there. Like, come on, Curve, build a route slip for us already. But I will say, if you guys don't have Curve and you want something like Log Me In or other things, you guys can remote in virtually. Is the idea behind this? I'm not gonna we're not gonna go Curve versus all the other ones.
Oh, no. This is not a dental practice software ad today. Let's go.
No.
You know what I mean? So let's see here. I think we had them booked out on Thursdays or whatnot. Okay. So here's a typical day. You know what I mean? So I think there was one doctor. Okay. And so she would do whatever she was doing right during the course of the day. And then maybe one teledentistry consult. By the way, here's another one that was teledentistry consult, didn't show, Here's another teledentistry consult. So a lot of them didn't show, and that's okay. Because if you look at her schedule on the regular column.
Yep.
You see, that's really, we all know that's great. Now, if you had all this stuff jacked in here, you wouldn't have been able to book it. You know what I mean? So that's kind of where we really were able to change it up and then add in these kinds of things. You know what I mean? Hang on, let me look at a day that has ortho.
And I would guess that you would probably put them strategically. So we're going to put them at the beginning of an appointment where you got crowns. So in case you do need to pop out. And it sounds like they're pretty short. It's 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
10 minutes.
These appointments are so fast. We're talking 3 to 5 minutes tops for the doctor, if that.
This is when doc goes to grab food in their office and you're hey, quickly just say hi.
It's kind of exactly right, and that's kind of, I hope I made it clear as to how to schedule this. You know what I mean? I think the for folks who are new to this, it's going to look like what we used to have. And as you get more proficient with it, you'll have more and more of these consults. Now check it out. Okay. So here's our dental video column, right? And then we have another column here with just all Aces video, right? So we have 2 columns now. And that's because on this particular day, we had the general dentist working and we had our orthodontist working, okay? So this column was Aces dental video and this was the dental ortho side. You can see the ortho consults all being done here,
Gotcha.
So sorry if I'm moving too fast there for you folks. And so
no, that was great.
So that's kind of how we've done it on our side in terms of being able to, oh gosh, what did I do? Okay. So that's how we did it in terms of being able to provide this particular service for our patients and integrate it into our practice,
So it sounds add that extra column that's going to be your teledentistry column. That way you have it so doc can see that there's going to be this front desk note. So it sounds like it's more the front desk is an added assistant almost is what it kind of seems like because they're greeting them. They just get the doctor to come in. We let them know that they have it. And, it sounds like that's basically how you guys are scheduling.
You're very accurate in that. This is a highly staff-driven type of an enterprise because what you don't want is the doctor to be totally locked into this, and initially, of course, you have to build it. You have to kind of get used to it. The staff have to get used to it. So all these things are there. The learning curve is there. It's not terribly difficult. But for somebody who's not technologically savvy or who has 10,000 photos on their phone and doesn't know how to offload them onto some other server so that a phone becomes more efficient, they're going to have issues. You know what I mean? And so there's some things like that people are going to have to get used to. People are going to have to get used to the fact that they have to use their phone for something valuable now, as opposed to only using it for, something
Instagram, Facebook, those things.
You know what I mean? Okay, I'll stop for Q&A here. Let's have a look here from Claire. As a hygienist, I absolutely love the idea of virtual check-in with closing tablets. Can you all see my screen? I hope so. So great idea to use for exams when patients are in and doctor isn't in, so we can do a virtual check-in. Are you currently recommending that for areas with general supervision? I'd say so, It depends on your state regulations, though. So I don't know which state you're in, Claire. Maybe you want to put that in there.
She's in Arizona.
She's in Arizona. Okay, Arizona has very liberal, teledentistry laws. So I would say the answer is yes, but please check with your state to make sure of that. I think that's a great question, actually. Thank you. Nevada Nevada State Dental Board just cleared the teledentistry laws and said it's within the scope of practice for dentists. So that was solid. Yeah, finally, awesome. After it only took the world to blow up, right? So here's now a couple of videos I'm going to play for you guys. So just so you can see kind of how it works. I'm going to walk you through the patient experience first, then the doctor, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay? So.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Today, I'm going to take you through the patient aspect of the Teledentistry.com app. Once you have downloaded the app and then found your username and login, go ahead and enter the patient aspect. And this is the first screen that you see. For today's purposes, I have used my own information as a sort of a demo so that you can kind of experience what it's like for a patient to go through the process. First, at the top, you'll notice e-documents. And this is the regular medical and dental history that you would normally find within your own practice. It has the patient's biodata, as well as their medical or dental history and dental history. And once that's all been saved and the patient has modified their information, they'll be able to accept the terms and conditions, and then that gets saved into their file. Next, you see gallery. Now this section shows pictures that the patient has taken, and those are just pictures of myself and some friends of mine, and that's just there for demo purposes, of course. Join a consult is actually where the patient will click, and then you'll see here on the right-hand side multiple sessions that have expired. When a new session is in effect, you will see here it says join session. And that's when, of course, the patient will click and then be welcomed into the doctor's video conference. When you want to take a picture, of course, you can take images here, and then they will get stored in the gallery above. Practice detail is your own practice information. And this is what gets pushed to the patient so that they can contact you anywhere, anytime. Rate and review is for our app, and if you were to take a survey, that just kind of gives us some information about the user experience for themselves. And of course, if they have technical issues or need help, then that's what the button at the bottom is for. Thank you so much, and look forward to talking to you on the doctor aspect of the portal.
All right, I will play that next. And here we go.
Hello. Today, I'll be taking you through the doctor login portion of the Teledentistry.com app. Once you've opened up the app, you'll be able to see the Login as Doctor section up towards the bottom of the screen. Click on that and then log in using your username and password that you would have set up for yourself in your own dashboard. This is my login, and so I've populated it with some dummy information, but it's just for demo purposes for you guys to get an idea of how the app works. Once you've logged in, you'll be able to see 4 sections on the app. Patient search, join a video call to call center, education and training. As we improve the app, you'll see these buttons changing, and of course, these will be designed to make the experience better and move faster. Let's go to patient search. If you come here to test client, and we've loaded in a few of our friends and whatnot here for you to see, you'll be able to see 4 buttons below each patient. And the idea is that you can put in your notes, do your prescriptions, view documents of the patient they have submitted, as well as any images that the patient has submitted from their smartphone as well. Let's go to notes. Here you can see notes that have been put in before, as well as you can add notes. Once you've selected a template, you can just punch it in, and then right on your smartphone, you can type in whatever you want. And these are just templates that we have created for ourselves. You're welcome to create your own templates as the capability allows. Go ahead and save, and then come back here to notes. And you can see here that we have got this information stored into the patient's notes section. Same thing for the prescriptions. You can choose templates that have been pre-selected for you, and then go ahead and then put in the information. So I'm going to go ahead and save. Add in, say, for example, ibuprofen 800 milligrams, save again, and then you can see these medications saved towards the bottom. Documents that a patient has submitted are also here for you to see. These are all just sitting here as the medical and dental records that you can see on your smartphone anywhere, anytime. And of course, images. Oh, there you go. So one of our developers has submitted an image of himself. Hello, sir. And that is what he took on his smartphone while testing out the capabilities. And that's as far as the actual 4 buttons are concerned with regards to the app as well as the patient search section. If you were to join a video call, when you come here, you'll be able to see how all these different sessions have been created with this doctor. Where it says session expired, you will see an area that says join session, which will be where you will be clicking in order to enter the video conference with your patient. Call to call center will then facilitate a call to our teledentistry.com call center if you need support on technical issues or any kind of support using the app. When you click on education and training, you'll be able to choose here different types of topics that we have pre-selected for you in order to help facilitate teledentistry. Dr. Sophia Saeed has created the teledentistry triage protocol and has reviewed hundreds and hundreds of patient experiences and determined how best to go about triaging these patients so that we as dentists can help our patients as best as possible. I strongly recommend that you read through these guidelines and then educate yourself on this new branch of dentistry. And then, of course, we have other areas of note from governmental agencies such as the ADA, or our association, American Dental Association, as well as malpractice policies that are steadily updating their processes when it comes to covering teledentistry. Hope that makes sense, and enjoy the new world of teledentistry.com and how we are going to be changing the future for you and your patients. Thank you.
I promise I'll get a better looking model for next time. It won't be me doing it. So that's as far as the app experience is concerned. Okay.
Can I ask a couple questions on the app? Mm-hmm. So when you make your RX, is that just documenting on the app? You're saying it doesn't integrate yet into a software. So then do they just copy those notes and put them into the patient chart? Do they, can that RX go straight to a pharmacy? How does it work as far as like pushing it to the next level besides just within the app?
Certainly, yeah. We have an integration with with SureScripts, which is an online e-prescription system. And this also allows for controlled substance prescription electronically, but I would warn against that and kind of stick with antibiotics and NSAIDs instead of doing a controlled substance enabling controlled substances. So yes, to answer your question, it is an e-prescription capability. It is an upgrade to the system on the back end that we can enable for a doctor. If they just want to notate it, that's fine too. And then we just simply allow that's what I showcased over there. You can just simply say, okay, I want amoxicillin, prescribed. It'll go to the dashboard, and then you'll be able to see it there. And these 2 videos are for the dashboard. I don't want to take up the entire time. We'll come back to that maybe towards the end, and then kind of like go from there. Okay.
Okay. Another quick question on that was for your patients. Like I know a lot of doctors have said that they want to record these video consults and then upload them into the chart so it's documented. Do you guys download that? Does it stand? How does that work as far as having this tracking in their chart?
Absolutely, it does record. As you can imagine, those files are pretty heavy after a while, so it's recommended that you pull them off of our server and put them into your own local database. Like a small memory drive or something like that. You know what I mean? And hold on to those. Because one thing that a lot of people are very happy about right now is that HIPAA's gone and all these new regulations are being relaxed. It's a guarantee, that they'll all come back with the full force and weight and be worse afterwards, And so I personally recommend having don't use my platform, don't use go with somebody else. It's fine, but just CYA. We do have licenses to protect, and for sure HIPAA will come and then drop a hammer on your head at some point, and so you want to be sure that you have those BAAs in place. You have all these different things that you can rely on as a dentist and then you kind of shift the liability and then make sure that you're safe, So these are the things that, people like love to circumvent because they're going to save like a couple $100 here and there, but then they'll lose their license over something dumb. You know what I mean?
Right.
I've seen this happen so many times. And so it's quite sad. But that's
cool.
the way it goes. Go ahead.
And that's helpful because we had Amanda Wilson. She did a webinar for us, and she's an orthodontist. Yeah. And she was saying to make sure you hang on to those videos because you can actually track it. And then if there's ever a case against you, you actually have live video of what the case started at, what it ended at, because you're doing all these virtual consults. So I had not thought of that. I thought that was a really brilliant thing. And she's like, she just saves them under each patient's name. They have a file from start to finish. And that can really help as well. Yeah,
that's a capability. That's one of the updates that's happening. Like already, you can record the session in our system. We're now tying it into the same dashboard. So you just go to like one database and you're seeing everything there. So and it's all there. I did a quick comparison between like the different types of platforms that are commonly out there right now. And again, nothing against these guys. Right now, they're all good platforms, if you ask me, and they do the essential functions, And so, but I was really kind of like, okay, well, let's see what the competition is doing. Mouthwatch has been around for a long time. I think they're a good software system. I've tried it out myself. But the one thing that I didn't like, because hey, I'm in the business, you know what I mean? So I'm going to look and see what my competition is doing out there. They didn't have a smartphone app. And that to me was like, okay, they do have browser capability, so you can like access it through the internet, but it's not like a full-throated experience, And so on the tech side, I can tell you there's just so many different things that you can do better in an app once you've got that thing installed on a patient's phone and even on the doctor's phone that you cannot do on a browser, And so it's just a challenge, So that's kind of how I kind of was like, okay, it's a differentiation. Also, their system requires you to purchase an intraoral camera, which I thought was a very unique way of doing it for each patient, And the cameras are,
per patient.
That's what they said on their site. You can send out a intraoral camera to your patient. I mean, again, I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it's certainly one way of doing it, but that's something that they can look at, And so, it's just a question of like how cost effective is that methodology. And our system uses existing technologies. You don't have to buy something new. You know what I mean? That was the kind of thing. So again, lots of different ways of looking at it. Everybody's HIPAA compliant except FaceTime. I'm sure for those of us who are using FaceTime, we'll find that Mark Zuckerberg has found some way to do something with those videos down the road. We're gonna be all pissed off at him, but it's like, hey, it's his company, so he's not bound by HIPAA. So you guys can take a look at that later on. You can schedule appointments with us. That was a big deal. Our system does allow you to schedule the appointment. Let's say like, okay, I want to book this appointment in 2 weeks to have a virtual consult with Johnny, right? That's possible, that you cannot do with any of the other services out there. And that's because, again, nothing against these guys. They're not dentists, they're pure technology. So that interaction and usability within a practice is critical, and to be able to produce a product that fits within our industry,
So when you schedule with your guys's, does it schedule on the Teledentistry app or does it also link to your software? I'm guessing just on the app right now, and then like the front office would just go look at it and then pull those into the schedule now since it's not completely integrated. Is that right?
Because it's not completely integrated, that's right. So it'll be a separate schedule, but it is a possibility of scheduling it, So does it integrate? Not yet, but give us about maybe 2-3 months and we'll be fully integrated.
Yeah, for sure. Just trying to think through all the logistics of how that works. Because if it's all in the app, it sounds like it's just simpler because you guys have it all there. So then your front office team's not having to check 4 different places, hoping we don't miss certain things. Correct. It's all right there. Pull it over and you can set it up that way.
Absolutely right. So we have this offer for everybody. And this is because quite frankly, I feel blessed that we have this technology to be able to help during this time. And I don't know if we don't help now, I don't know when we're going to help, So I think that's kind of the other way we looked at it. We're like, okay, well, it's one of those times, And so I don't know when dental offices are really going to get back into full steam, And so we said till June 30th, which is free, just sign up, go crazy, use the tech, bill for the services, do your thing, And if it's of value and you like it, then, stay on after the fact. If not, it's okay. It's hopefully I'll get some heaven points one day eventually, So we'll kind of look
I like
at
the heaven points idea.
Heaven points, very important. Because God knows.
I know.
I live in Vegas.
They are taking notes, and you are in Vegas. You need a lot of.
And I live in Vegas. Okay, for sure, going the other direction. So So it's basically DSO pricing after the fact. Our normal fees. Here they are, and all you have to do is just we don't do any long-term contracts. It's month to month. If you hate it, just say so. It's okay. If you do want a longer-term contract, then we'll give you a 2-year contract, but it'll get lower pricing at that point. We can talk about that.
Cool. And I do appreciate that you're giving them a pretty substantial discount too if they do DAT. So thanks for that, because it's normally $299. It's $100. That's pretty. Not too terrible.
Before we were like, $300 because this is like this seems to be the magic number that most software systems use. So we're like, okay,
they do.
Yeah. All right. So here's some of the coding that you can do with, and this is from the ADA. So it's not like I imagined this. Okay. It's coming straight from the ADA. There's ways in which this has to be used. That's the important thing. And what an insurance company will pay out on. Just because you bill it doesn't mean the insurance company is going to pay it, right? Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of where the rub really is here, because the ADA can make all kinds of guidance out. They want all day long. Doesn't matter, The insurance company has to say, yeah, we'll pay out on that. There's only one code in all of this that they're paying out on, and that's this one. Now, so it doesn't matter if you bill out this independently. Just nobody cares. You got to bill out the first one. Okay. Now, when you're doing a teledentistry consult, you also have to bill out this one.
So we do limited and teledentistry in one.
And the 95 code. If it's asynchronous, which is patient submitted images or something like that, and now you're looking at it on your smartphone, and then you call the patient back, for example, okay, on a telephone, and you try and bill this and this together, it's not going to get paid, because it has to be an interactive session between the patient and the doctor for this thing to get paid out, okay? So just something to keep in mind. And of course, you can just come here to our website for more guidance for the actual ADA document itself.
And you can also do, on that, like post-op, you do a post-op and the real time, because that's when you'd be doing it. So the re-eval plus the teledentistry, can you do those two together? Do those get paid?
You can do it together. I just have not seen, the code is specifically not a post-op visit. Most post-op visits are this one. I think this is the one you're talking about. Mm-hmm, so I don't know if a lot of insurance companies pay for post-ops. I think they'd love to have a lot of codes that they just don't pay out on. And so that's one of those things. But that's the game, right?
And I've been watching some of the blogs on this and some of the Facebook chats and groups, and I did see somebody get paid right now during this time. I think they got paid $65 from Blue Cross Blue Shield. I could be totally making this up for just the straight teledentistry code.
Okay.
So I don't know. I don't know if that, and that's why I was curious, do you have to bill the limited and the teledentistry, or is it?
I wonder, and this is coming from the ADA, and we have our own contracts as teledentistry.com with various Medicaid entities, right? So that's a whole different thing. But, what the ADA has given us guidance, that's what I'm parroting here, essentially, and I read that document backwards and forwards. And so, I know kind of like what their intent was. And so here it is,
So they're saying bill limited plus the teledentistry if you do it virtual, and that's how they're taking it.
And it has to be synchronous. Has to be interactive. If you do it another way, then it's not going to work,
Got it.
See, it's mainly Medicaid. Does Medicaid pay for the teledentistry codes? The answer is yes, if you bill this one, the D0140. Most Medicaid, so Don, most of the Medicaid companies do pay out on the D0140, Now, if you're doing teledentistry, you also have to include this code, the D995 code, that signifies to the Medicaid company that it was a teledentistry consult. So that's the way that will work.
Cool. Good question.
Sure, absolutely. And that's pretty much the end of the presentation, So
cool. I love it. I'm gonna pick your brain a little bit if that's okay. People have and there's a chat. If insurance is not paying for post-op, our office is mainly using teledentistry as a way to open their schedule for more productive dentistry.
Hang on. If insurance is not paying for post-op, our office means more productive dentistry. That's exactly what we're doing. Pre-COVID, in fact. So we would open up the schedule by pushing these post-ops virtual. And that way they're not coming into the office, or I should say, they're not on the schedule and then no showing.
Right.
You see, that's the issue, because we I see a schedule in the day and I see oh, we have 50 patients coming in today. I'm just giving a random number, right? Okay. And I have to account for maybe 4 assistants, another associate doctor, so we don't get overwhelmed. So we're 25 and 25 patients or something like that. And by the way, at the end of all that, if 50% of the patients don't show up, guess what? My overhead just went through the roof, and we only saw 25 patients, because maybe like 10, 15 of them were post-ops, So this is what we saw, and we were like, well, why waste money on overstaffing, right? If we can just simply push them virtual, and then if they don't show, it's no skin off anybody's back, Like we're not going to hit them for not showing up for a virtual appointment, right? Because it's just coming straight into the front desk. I think at this point we got to show the another video here. That way you guys can get a better idea.
Okay.
Hold on one second. Let me.
Well, and I do love that idea as you're pulling this up of having a more productive schedule, because I hear so often we have all this stuff, like a check for this and a check for that, and it's really non-productive time.
Yeah,
and if you can do that virtually, quick, and it's easier for the patients, easier for you, keeps your schedule. So because we have to block 30 minutes by the time the assistant flips the room. A 15-minute, as much as we'd love to do 15-minute appointments, that's the reality of flipping it, getting them back checked in.
And it was such a waste too. You got the assistant, the materials, and then the patient doesn't show up, and they're just standing there waiting, and then everybody's looking at each other like, okay, what's going on here? Johnny didn't show up. So this is a full experience of what it's like. It's really fast. Okay. You guys have an idea. So the main thing to understand is the front desk, which was maybe 2 seconds on the video, is actually about 20 minutes. Okay? So that's realistic. The doctor spends about maybe 2 minutes on the phone. So, and the patient didn't come into the office. Your overheads are zero practically, and once the front desk once the patient kind of gets used to the video conferencing features, and the front desk gets used to the technology, these things fly by, and you can do back to back to back sessions like this. And to your point, $65, $50, $60, per session. You do 10 of these in a day. That's pretty significant, and you're okay, and it took you 2 minutes a pop. That's not bad at all, and that's how we do it, and it's working out really well. I'll show you guys how to sign up as well if you're interested, for those who are participating. Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Let me kind of go here. Single practice location. So 3 months for free, then $149 a month is what it says. Okay. You come in here and it says have a coupon, and then you type in the words, and it is caps lock sensitive, DAT. Okay. And then it'll drop the pricing to the $99 until June. Okay. Or free until June, then $99. That's what I meant.
Awesome.
So, there you go. All right.
Teledentistry.com. So I have a question for you of how are you suggesting, or how do you guys do it as far as marketing? Because I know a lot of people right now are trying to market teledentistry, let their patients know. What do you guys suggest you do for teledentistry to market?
Here, I'll show you what our clients are doing. You have Absolute Dental in, what do you call it? Reno, right?
I think so.
Yep. You sure do. Here you go.
I'm like, I don't know. I don't know any of the dentists here. I'm such a pathetic Reno person. I don't even know people.
Oh, come on, Absolute Dental. You're denying the request for geolocation? What's that even supposed to mean?
I don't even know. They know you're scamming them. You don't want them.
Type to the guys over there. Okay. So what happens is you call the number. Okay. So you do call a telephone number. Okay.
Okay.
And then once that's done, you're ported to the front desk. Front desk does exactly what was done in the video. Spends about 20 minutes on the phone with you. Download the app. And then if the patient is tech savvy, they can fill out the information on their smartphone themselves. If they're not tech savvy, then the front desk can fill out the information for the patient. And then they connect the dentist and the patient, right? Oh, okay. And right now, because everybody's quarantined, we have the dentists are sitting at home and they're doing like 20, 30 consults a day, you know? And they're billing, by the way, to the insurance company for this. So you can start to see very quickly kind of like how this can start to add up, especially if you have an ability to handle a high number of calls. So if you're marketing for it, okay, if you can hire like 2 or 3 people at the front desk and just handling this. You know, one person answering the phone call, one person, and this is how we do it in our practices too. We have multiple locations too. I know it sounds kind of crazy. We're all in Las Vegas, and you know we're helping our competitors, but it's okay. You know, in this kind of in this time, it's like weird. You know what I mean? And so it's just one of those interesting moments in history, honestly. And but that being said, if you have like 2 or 3 people at the front desk, or even 1 or 2, you know, if you're a slightly smaller practice, you can run this profitably. You know, and especially considering that it's free until June. I mean, go ahead, go crazy. You know what I mean? And it's just like I said, some heaven points, and then after that, we'll take it from there. You know, we'll figure it out.
I love it. So, do you suggest people like put it on Facebook, their social, their Instagram, on their website, saying like have an emergency, or even like pay per click for emergency dental care, and then it like links to that?
Absolutely, yeah. Just like Absolute Dental is doing right now, just like we're doing, you know. And so this is how you can pull in leads right now, right? And then monetize that lead right now, as opposed to traditional pre-COVID, which is phone call comes in, you're going through all this work, right? Front desk is doing the same amount of work they were doing before, by the way, anyways. They're still entering information into Dentrix or something else.
Right.
And then they book the patient the appointment. And then they don't show, for example. And so this is the most frustrating thing. So now instead, you have the patient come in, you book them virtually, you do the consult then and there, you're billing for it. You know? Correct. So you're not wasting time. You're at least spending your time efficiently and making money at the same time for it. We got some Q&A sessions over here. Hold on one second. Charlie Reed. Okay, most probably need RCT and can do a video consult first, get an antibiotic before coming into office. The answer is absolutely, Charlie. So 100%. Okay. Realistically, how long does it take to set up the teledentistry system? 24 hours to 72 hours for our back end to set up the platform and spin up a server for you. And then we create your domain. You can access the system. And then training is about 2 hours, So it's not rocket science. We're all doing, video conferencing right now. It's, and we're all in the dental profession. So it's a bit of a combination of the two. And so you just got to figure out some of the ins and outs of it and some of the quirks, and like any technology, that's going to be quirks. And so you just got to get used to it. So that's all.
And pretty simple.
It's not too bad.
No, it seems awesome. I love that you walked us through the patient experience, the doctor experience, the team experience, because I think so many people want to know those details. They're like, all right, this seems like a good idea. How do I bill for it? It's all the how-tos, and they're stuck in the tyranny of how. So you literally walked us through step by step of exactly how to set this up. So I would say, guys, like, you have time. I mean, you were just gifted some time. If you can get this set up and get a really smooth operating process in your practice, save that chair time from not productive appointments that could be done virtually, and start being smarter and innovative in your practice.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure. Absolutely. So
awesome.
If you guys need any assistance or anything, absolutely, no problem. It's a pleasure, Kiera. So it's good to see you again after so many years. You haven't aged at all.
You're kind.
I have aged a lot.
No, not.
Wait a minute. Let's go back to that first slide on the bio. Yeah.
Yes. Can we please go back to that one? Okay. So I want to send this to them. If they want to sign up for you, they go to www.teledentistry.com.
Right. Yep, that's right. Mm-hmm.
And then use coupon code DAT.
Yeah, there you go. So
cool. All right. Well, thank you. Thanks so much for your time. You guys, thank you for joining us. Facebook, thank you guys for joining us as well. And thank you. Thanks for your time today. I know you're super busy, so thank you.
All right. You take care, Kiera. Talk to you later.
You too. Take care. Bye.
And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.